Did Jennie plagiarize a Bollywood song? But why was Sserafim's song banned? Those subjects and so much more in today's episode of Totally Legit K-pop News with me, Angelina. So if you're interested, please keep on watching, of course. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. There's no shame in it. Well, a little. But without further ado, let's get started. So, of course, we all know that Jennie is releasing an album soon, and so she has released an album sampler where we get to hear snippets of her songs. So it seems that some fans have pointed out that the snippet of Like Jennie sounds like Ronnie's intro theme. So let's listen to them side by side. I think I really like Jennie. Haters that don't really like. Plagiarizing a Bollywood song is crazy work. Why does this sound like Ronnie's intro theme, Jennie girl? So just looking online, this ended up causing a whole fan war. Now, of course, we do not participate in fan wars. We only look at them from far. And from what I can see, it's just basically people fighting about who's prettier, who is more famous, who is more relevant, and all of that jazz. I mean, I will say they do remind me of each other, just the repetition of Jennie, 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 and Ronnie. Like, they remind me of each other. But in terms of plagiarism, as of right now, it's just fans saying like, oh, she copied this song or this song was copied. No one has come forward and said their work has been plagiarized. If that ends up being the case, I would of course update you. But as of now, it's really just fans thinking that something is similar. But of course, let me know what you think in the comments. In other comeback news, we have Sserafim, who are releasing their 5th mini album, Hot. So just a little bit of a warning, we will be making mentions of sensitive subjects. We won't be going into any more detail than mentions of them, but just in case, take care of yourself, and I will have resources linked below as always. Now, they came out with a track list. Let's take a brief look at it. We have Born Fire, Hot, which is the title, Come Over, So Cynical Badoom, and I skipped over Ash because we're going to be talking about Ash today. It seems that this song Ash has been deemed ineligible for a broadcast. It's essentially been banned. So what does this mean? I mean, this happens quite a bit, mostly by KBS. If a song features, let's say, a brand name, it might be banned by KBS. If the song is maybe too suggestive, it might be banned by KBS. I mean, there are so many reasons that a song might get banned. There's entire compilations showing off why KBS might have banned something. What was our most recent examples? I feel like I want to say Jennie, but I don't fully remember what it was. Now, what can a group do if their song is banned? They could either just let it go. Maybe they're not even going to be promoting that song on KBS anyway, so it doesn't matter. Maybe they just don't care to change it. They'll perform on other broadcasting stations that have not banned the song, or they could change the lyrics of the song so that they can promote on said broadcast that banned them. Now, for Sserafim in particular, it seems that it has nothing to do with the brand names, but rather depictions of suicide, self and other forms of physical or psychological abuse, as well as the glorification or graphic portrayal of such content. So as you can imagine, it seems to relate to very sensitive content. Now, some fans are obviously not happy about it. Anytime a song gets banned, that could affect the group's ability to promote it. But more importantly, it seems that fans really want this topic to be discussed. A lot of people saying that this is a topic that needs to have attention, that needs to be discussed and shouldn't be censored. Now, of course, the album hasn't been released yet. We don't know the full content of the song, so we'll get a lot more context once it's released. Just sometimes we'll see like maybe someone didn't wear a seatbelt in a music video and then it gets banned, or very brief mention of a brand name and it gets banned, or sometimes you see these suggestive lyrics getting banned and you're like, if we remember G-Idol's Wife, that got banned specifically for its lyrics. But if you look at the content of the lyrics, there wasn't really necessarily, it wasn't graphic or anything, right? All that to say, I don't know what the content of the song is going to be, if we're actually going to be shocked at why it was banned in the first place or anything like that. But as for now, what do you think? So a lot of people are talking about Pitchfork right now because it seems that they reviewed Lisa's album, giving it a 5.2. So let me read to you the review and you'll see why people are talking about it. Because in my opinion, it's really K-pop shocking. And this is a conversation to have, especially because I've seen people talk about how if, idols want to break into the Western market, quote unquote, if that's the audience that they want, then criticism will follow. Like, K-pop fans are like so protective of their idols that anytime someone doesn't like something or criticizes something, it's oh my god, you can't do that. In other spaces, I would say like literally any other space, I've talked about this time and time again, when I'm watching sports commentary, you see like the criticism of someone's form or someone's this, someone's that, whatever the case may be, and you're just like, oh, like if this were K-pop, oh my god, like those commentators would get K-pop canceled. Or if it's art, media, whatever the case may be, movies, songs, people criticize this stuff and they survive to live the tale. But if you're a K-pop stan, I don't know if you've ever been a K-pop YouTuber before, but holy moly, I'll end my speech there. But it's been a conversation, okay? But let me read this to you. So again, they gave her a 5.2. And they have a lot to say, basically calling it generic. I mean, in the first line, calling it generic. On the Blackpink singer and rapper solo debut, her various musical identities add up to the generic embodiment of a pop star. Now, Lisa has received criticism for alter ego before, right? All of her different characters, especially I believe it was Vixie. The synopsis or Vixie's description was receiving a lot of backlash for being quote unquote cringy, that she drinks tears, and I can't remember everything off the top of my head, but just a little take back to that. And Pitchfork also make mention of this. Lisa wants you to believe she's multifaceted. The Thai singer and rapper's debut solo album is called Alter Ego. And if one takes her at her word, these 13 songs are meant to live up to that title. She presents different versions of herself, among them Vixie, a villain who drinks her tears, like I had mentioned before, Roxy, a rock star who loves energy drinks, and Sunny, a girl who's afraid of the dark. If this sounds a bit hollow, it's because the concept is designed to sell multiple copies of the same album. Already, like, I'm getting scared for the author of this, because we could look K-pop idols in the eye and their companies and be like, you are selling us like 12 versions of the same album, 20 million photo cards. It's obviously a marketing tactic, but if you attribute that to the artists themselves, I mean, it's already getting into spicy content. Like, I'm like, I don't know to what extent I'm allowed to say, I'm not Pitchfork. I don't have the guts like Pitchfork does here. But like, we could look these idols in the eyes and be like, yeah, that's a marketing tactic. But like, to just put it out into a sentence like that against an idol specifically, like I meant, that's K-pop shock. This is K-pop. This is K-pop shocking. Continuing on with the multiple versions of the same album thing, CDs can be purchased with one of 5 photo books, each featuring one of the identities. I mean, we're used to this as K-pop fans. We know this, but this marketing ploy also highlights her biggest challenge. Lisa, who's part of the record-setting K-pop group Blackpink, needs to convince you that she has depth without her bandmates. Alter Ego proves she doesn't. I don't know if you guys remember, actually. Let's just take a second. I believe it was Pitchfork who reviewed Rosé's album and were basically saying, like, it lacks the depth, you know? And I was basically saying, well, it's actually quite K-pop shocking to us. Like, as fans, it's shocking to find out. I mean, it's not shocking, but, like, it's K-pop shocking. Again, you guys have to understand the K-pop shocking part of it. A lot of us are not shocked by a lot of things, but if we put ourselves in our K-pop communities, like, we're different people. Like, the things that we'll tolerate or be shocked by are very different. Do you know what I mean? So we're shocked by Rosie's album because she kissed a guy in the music video and she's talking about a toxic ex-lover, which in another community would just be like, whatever. But in our community, it's like, holy moly. So just bringing that up again, because it is like, I would say they're different worlds, right? At this point in her career, Lisa is too big to fail commercially, but also too big to succeed creatively. When Blackpink was gaining international acclaim, they followed the BTS model of crossover appeal. They collaborated with Western artists, sang more in English, and avoided the genre blending that makes K-pop a fascinating game of connect the dots. One of the group's debut singles, Whistle, was a big wheeling mixture of dipsetism and country music. What in the world? Country music? Padam, 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 padam. I don't know, but sure. As If It's Your Last from 2017 was like Pon de Floor fused with 80s mall pop. Inexplicably, there was country in this track. I'm so confused. Cut them out, chat them, kiss, hand show. Magic Max, I don't know. I really don't know. Moving on. Alter Ego, like much of Blackpink's recent material, doesn't try anything as audacious. Take the album's bookends. Born Again as a banal disco track in the vein of Dua Lipa, but it fails to understand how a voice can be a vessel for exultant uplift. Dream is a shallow ballad that can't help but feel flimsy, rushing through lines to eschew any meaningful pathos. The problem is that Lisa's role in Blackpink is to offer moments of snotty charm. Her range may be limited, but it has a purpose. When she's tasked with carrying a track, the songs are tedious. She channels second-rate Cardi B on F Up the World, but it's not until Future arrives with a phoned-in verse no less, that we hear any personality. So already her work has been called generic, that it lacks personality, that Lisa has no range. Continuing on. The features on this album often have this effect. Rapunzel is too sedate, but hearing Megan Thee Stallion's reveals that there are ways to take a cutesy song and make it playful, bratty, and cocksure. I'm like, some of these words I feel like I don't exist, but maybe I'm just a little silly. Most damning is Rosalia on New Woman. Hearing her glide in Spanish makes glaringly obvious that Lisa should have explored the phonological possibilities and personalities of other languages. Even her role in The White Lotus, where she speaks in Thai, makes this project feel stifled by comparison. If Alter Ego presents Lisa as the most generic embodiment of a pop star, then it is no surprise that its best songs rely on tried and true formulas. Moonlit Floor, Kiss Me, takes the Sixpence None the Richer song and ramps up the sensuality. The couple is in Paris. There's a lot more kissing. And Lisa sings of her lover's tongue doing tricks. It works because the original hook is so inedible. All its tenderness is already understood, so hearing it collapse into dreamy eroticism feels apropos. These highlights, though, aren't so much good as acceptable. The syncopated percussion on the Tyler collaboration, When I'm With You, is a welcome change of pace, and maybe worse than everything on Tyler, but at least it's seductive. Rockstar is the closest thing here to traditional K-pop, but the adventurousness only goes as far as glossy chorus reminiscent of Tame Impala produced Travis Scott. One line on F Up the World manages to summarize the whole experience. They want the old Lisa, then listen to my old shit. It's hard to imagine who wouldn't. So yeah, I mean, I can definitely toss it as very K-pop shocking, but the question always remains, at what point does criticism just turn into straight up hate? What are your thoughts, and let me know in the comments. On that note of Lisa, it seems that she was also accused of lip syncing at the Oscars. Now, of course, there's two sides to this. Some people thinking that no, she actually sang perfectly live, and others, of course, thinking that she wasn't. Now, being that it is the Oscars, I cannot show you the video unless I think I found a fan cam actually. Can you even have fan cams in the audience? I think I found something. Let me find it, okay? Here's a video taken by an audience member in attendance. If there was a backtrack, the resonance would be heard loudly, especially when recording in person, but even her inhales are picked up. So I'm not claiming she was lip syncing or she wasn't lip syncing. I'm not making any claims, but I will say it's not uncommon to record breath sounds or even recording yourself kind of slightly out of breath for a pre-recorded track that you then lip sync over. And again, I'm not saying one or the other. I'm not saying anything. I'm staying out of this. But a lot of people will bring up when someone is lip syncing, no, but you can hear them breathe. No, but you can hear this. Well, idols have come forward and said, well, we can actually record a track in the studio while jogging a little bit to make it sound like we're out of breath, but then we're actually lip syncing on stage. Again, I'm not saying that's what she's doing, okay? But I did want to show you the clip. Hopefully, are we gonna get sued for that? Let's pray for me. But I did make a short about this, so let's see what some of you guys are saying. Oh, I didn't. I'm like, I literally made a short about this. I did not make a short about this. Now, there's a lot of people saying, well, actually, you're not allowed to lip sync at the Oscars. And other people are like, well, actually, you can. And there's like a history of some people lip syncing at the Oscars. But as always, of course, let me know what you think. Last thing about Lisa, it seems that some fans were comparing her rap on F Up the World to XG's rap in Woke Up. So let's listen to them side by side. It's going to be some Angelina exception because I did film a short about this one.
Welcome to the party, floating like it's Mardi Gras. Yeah, pop up with it on a roof like a proper villain. You can call me Javi, but I'm not your Barbie doll. Yeah, spin it, got me in a mood, driven by the vision.
Let's read some responses. Isn't this a common rap flow? Genuine question. Now, it's not copying. That flow is often used in rap. Nicki has done it multiple times. This is what happens when you don't branch out in music genres. This is a very common flow in rap. I wish people like this would educate themselves instead of ignorantly throwing out accusations. Not Angelina, she's just informing us. Thank you. I feel like I've heard that flow over 1,000 times. I don't think she copied XG, but when I heard F Up the World, I immediately thought she reminded me of XG. Literal facepalm rap isn't just a K-pop thing, in case some of y'all forgot. I actually thought she looked very similar to Juden rather than sounding like XG, but as a massive XG fan, I love Lisa's song, and it uses numerous rap styles. This is such a common flow. I have heard this flow many times. They sound the same because rap sounds the same when it has the same flow. This is just a new batch of kids who've been listening to music for less than 5 years becoming indignant because they're certain the first time they heard something is the first time it exists. This is right up there with people not being able to understand that a cover comes after the original. This is a perfect example of a common melody in music that's been used time and time again by various rappers. None of them copied anyone, and it's one of those type of rap flows that's not as intricate and not as hard to come up with per se. So many rappers has used this exact technique and style in their raps before. Nothing new or original. Love both these songs so much though. So yeah, what do you think of the similarities? Because again, I love pointing out similarities. Personally, okay, I feel I think you guys might not agree, but whenever I listen to The Chase by Hearts to Hearts, I think of Adele's Superstar. I'm gonna play them side by side. Somebody has to agree. Somebody has to agree somewhere. I'm not saying they're the same or anything, but you know, while we're here for similarities. Anyone? Moving on to Xiumin of EXO, because his agency has claimed that he has been blocked from Music Bank performances, which is KBS. On that note of KBS blocking things left, right, and center, it seems they're blocking humans too. So again, his agency basically claiming Xiumin, an artist under INB 100, is set to release his solo album Interview X on March 10th, marking his first solo comeback in 2 years and 6 months. So of course, as he's having a comeback, his company is trying to arrange for him to promote said comeback. However, recently we were unofficially informed by KBS that it would be impossible for Xiumin to appear on KBS programs that feature SM entertainment artists, including KBS2's Music Bank. This reasoning was difficult to understand, but even until today, we have continuously attempted to communicate with KBS to urge them to prioritize the artists and their fans. Unfortunately, our attempts were ignored. They go on to say that this has nothing to do with any reasonable reasons why you would block something, but based on its dealings with a specific entertainment company, aka SM Entertainment. If this kind of unfair treatment continues, our artists will be placed in a situation where they cannot promote on music shows whenever SM Entertainment artists have ongoing album promotions. We find it deeply unjust that KBS, a public broadcasting company, has made this decision based solely on one company's stance. Despite our utmost efforts to resolve this matter, we regret having to deliver such disappointing news to fans. Now, they go on to say that not only is KBS making it hard for Xiumin, but has also made it difficult for other artists to appear on Music Bank. But in regards to that, our company will continue striving for fairness and will do our best to prevent artists from being disadvantaged by such unfair practices. Now, as for KBS, they're denying this. They're basically saying that the allegations are completely unfounded and that they've been in continuous communication with Xiumin's company. But I thought we could talk about this for a minute because this, being brought forth like this has brought up other instances where this was the issue. A lot of people think that Jessica was banned from performing on music shows after she left Girls' Generation, a group under SM Entertainment. It seems that JYJ also faced a ban as well. They were 3 ex-members of TVXQ/DBSK, a group under SM Entertainment. So given these instances, it seems a lot of people are not surprised about this. And dare I say, a lot of people don't believe KBS in all of this. Given SM Entertainment allegedly historically banning their ex-artists, not this again, from promoting themselves, what do you believe? Let's move on to our favorite conversation surrounding choreography. Let's talk about our favorite choreography topic ever. Covering one member to center another member. Like a tale as old as time. Actually, it's not a tale as old as time. I feel like this criticism is really a new criticism because realistically, K-pop groups have been doing this forever. I don't know forever, but at least since 2019 when I first discovered it. I remember I had a video that was like Blackpink is actually a 3-member girl group, and I just literally made a compilation of every time a member was covered, which was frequent, really frequent, but we lost that video in the demonetization of 2021. When was that? I actually don't know what year it was, but it flowed right. You can remind me when I got demonetized. Not a great time. Regardless, covering a member to center another, some people don't care. Some people literally do not care because it literally centers even member groups. So if you're an 8-member girl group, if you have one member in the center, you're not going to have the same amount of members on each side unless you just shove her in the back. Maybe she can do some fun little arm things, but she's covered. It is mostly girl groups, isn't it? I digress. So Hearts to Hearts and The Chase. I remember seeing that there was some backlash for the ending pose because they literally covered somebody up in the ending pose. They have since changed it. Let me show you. So I'll show you what I'm talking about and then we can discuss it. So immediately someone's covered. I know you can't really tell, but immediately somebody is covered. She's back there, trust me. But do you see what I mean? She's doing fun little arm things. More arm, so many arm things. You know what I'm talking about. But the point is that somebody is covered a lot. I know a lot of people will say, as long as it's not the same member covered all the time. Do you guys remember Cat's Eye? A lot of people are pointing out that Mano and Lara were covered most of the time, or the most, not most of the time, but they were the members who were most covered. So when it gets to territory like that, then some people have an issue. Some people always have an issue thinking that you really need to find more interesting, more unique ways to center somebody without having this issue. I believe some people said Stacy are a great example of not covering another member and still finding a way to center somebody. I believe Edmix as well, but let me show you the ending pose. And somebody's covered literally in the ending pose. But if you watch their music show performance of this, they changed it. I'll show you while we're here. Wait a minute. Where is she? Okay, somebody disappeared here, but I remember seeing a music stage where she was just kind of off to the side, but somebody's gone. I'll show you this one. You see this ending pose where she's just like kind of off to the side here? Like it's not perfectly centered, but at least nobody's covered. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's the criticism. That's the criticism we're seeing for Hearts to Hearts. And realistically, the criticism we see for a lot of even numbered groups. Now, I made a short about this as well, so let's check out the comments. In my opinion, it's okay as long as it's done sparingly and it's not always the same members being hidden. It would be nice to see more creative formations for even numbered groups instead of defaulting to one member always being completely hidden in the back. The thing I really liked about the H2H choreography was the members basically mostly went to the back before going in front. It was fun to see them either visually rotate out or see the front members lean to the side to highlight the member in the back. If you're going to hide a member, something like this is preferable. I don't think it's always fully avoidable, but the current Oh My Girl lineup used it creatively in their choreo in their last comeback, Classified. If you have to cover members, try to use it as an element of surprise. H2H's concept's dreamy, so it'd even work make sense. I'm curious about that. Oh My Girl in Classified? I mind it. It's lazy. Any choreographer or dance teacher I've had in my life would tell you it's not very good placement on stage. They literally tell you not to block other people, that everyone should be visible. Why can't we just have two girlies centered together? I feel like we could have some cool choreo with two sides mirroring each other. That's a good idea too. Hiding a member works well when it's a setup to spotlight them in the next part of the song, but if they just shuffle to the side instead of moving forward, to me feels like a subtraction, not an addition to the overall choreo. I personally don't mind when a member is covered as long as they're not the only one being covered and they're not covered for a long time for the song. I'm a fan of Tuas and they do 6-member choreos really well though. I don't study enough boy group choreographies, but I feel like this is very much a complaint for girl group choreographies. As always, let me know what you think and what's your favorite way to center an even number of people within a choreography. If you have any suggestions. We need to do a comment response section because, and I quote, fan names and group names these days look like Elon Musk names them. Very respectfully, some of you became K-pop fans yesterday and you need to learn your K-pop history. Elon Musk? What about Elon? How dare you bring up Elon Musk here? As if M-Black doesn't exist. Music Boys Live in Absolute Quality. As if Teen Top doesn't exist. Teenage Emo Boy Emotion Next Generation Talent Object Praise. Okay. Or UKISS, ubiquitous Korean international superstar. Or Beast, Boys to Search for Top, also known as Boys of East Asia Standing Tall. But in my opinion, that's just the beauty of K-pop. The beauty of K-pop used to be weird names that made absolutely no sense. Singing and dancing live. One of those things got taken away. So, like, I know it's shocking the Hearts to Hearts fandom name is pronounced Hatchet. And it's spelled S to S or H or whatever. But there are limits. But that is basically it for this episode of Totally Legit K-pop News with me, Angelina. I was about to say, so if you're interested, then please keep on watching. I had a rough day, I'm not gonna lie. It's the end of the episode, I can complain a little bit. I had to take my precious dog, Meisha, to the vet. She did not like it. I did not like it. And it was like $300. But anyways. Thank you to my channel members and patrons who help support this channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Don't forget to go subscribe to my second channel. I've been literally live streaming so much over there and releasing a lot of content. As for me, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye!